fucking short story of my ass. This has got fucking 12 pages, dude.
I promise you.
I need to write a short script this week. Go fuck yourself.
It was flowing through my veins, just going onto the keyboard through everything.
Fucking blew your load on the keyboard, dude. All right. Start her up.
Oh, we're recording.
When did you start recording?
20 seconds ago.
Well, shit. Thanks for telling me, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Anyway, hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
It's been about a week. Like the other 10 episodes.
This week was different, though.
God,
it felt
that means
longer.
It's been 70 days. Oh, my God. Time is just so fast. We're rapidly approaching our demise till we're all in the dirt. Yeah, anyways, how's your week been?
My week was pretty good. I went to Maine, so that was kind of fun. I got to enjoy some of the great outdoors. Everything you hate.
I hate the outdoors.
There was lots of mosquitoes and all that shit. But other than that, I had a good time. How about you? What did you do all weekend?
Besides grasping with my mortality in, ever evolving depression and anxiety, things have been good.
That's awesome.
Things are great.
That's great. So
so we're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk
politics.
about...
We're leaving all that aside. People, this is not a political podcast, so if they want that, just
follow Austin's Twitter, where it's very...
Yes, it's just crazy over there. Everything's just ripping.
But no, everything's been okay. I'm trying to shed a couple of LBs, so I've been hitting the gym extra hard and eating less. I'm a little hangry.
Didn't you just eat?
I know, but that was I've limited my portions.
Oh, okay.
And I've also I only have 2 meals a day, like lunch and dinner.
Hey, good on you though. That's great.
Anyways, welcome back to the You Go First podcast. It has been a while, but thank you for tuning in, even though I think our viewers are steadily declining. But you know what? On our gaming channel, the algorithm is finally turning a corner. We're slowly...
Yay!
We beat the 230 barrier finally.
I know, I was getting so
we
sick
We were stuck on 227 for 2 months, and then at one point we went down to 226, and I was like, oh god.
It's okay. I really think that...
Austin made 6 accounts, and now we're back to 232.
Yep. Every single one. I had to make one that kind of insulted us a couple times just to kind of keep it balanced. I don't want YouTube getting suspicious.
Did you make that Domino's Pizza Dominican Republic account?
No, but did you see my comment to it?
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently Domino's from the Dominican Republic is a fan of the You Go First gaming channel. And his comment was, what, this has been out for 2 hours, you only got 1 view? What the fuck? And I was like, it's okay. It's fine, man. This man was very passionate. So if you're listening, thank you. Also, I will definitely take a thin crust pepperoni with a chocolate lava cake, please.
Oh, the chocolate lava cakes are so mid.
Yeah, well, when
the breadsticks are fire, though.
When it's 2 a.m. and you're in a hotel room, it's kind of nice.
If they're a big orgy fest in Maine with your closest lads.
I mean, is there anything else to do there?
Exactly. Get the lava cake.
All right, well, switching gears to what we actually like to talk about today,
which is the supernatural.
Yeah, we're doing something a little different. So because of the aforementioned trip I just talked about, I was a little pressed for time. So I gave us a couple ghost stories. They're supposedly true. Well, one's a ghost story. One's just an unbelievable story. So yeah, it's a couple stories. So buckle up and...
enjoy the ride.
Exactly. Enjoy the ride. Get some popcorn, put some pajama pants on, and then you get to listen to Fernando's sweet, sweet voice.
What is that?
I don't know. It felt right.
It felt right, dude?
It felt right.
Well, anyways, why don't you lead us into the supernatural with today's topic is going to be pets. And if you are like me, you're inclined to believe that pets can see into the spirit world. Like when we moved into a new apartment and Lacey was just staring at walls for hours on end, just mindlessly staring like, what's in the wall? And yes, I've read that they see mice or something, but listen, there's no way there's mice in a thin little wall, dude.
Well, I don't think they can see through the wall. They don't have X-ray vision.
Supposedly they hear it. They hear the little pitter patter.
So I might have mentioned this, but we're talking about supernatural pets. So even if I did talk about it before, we're talking about it again. The weirdest thing that I've ever witnessed, probably with Piper, who is our dog, not the Pied Piper. I do not have that person living in my house. Anyways, we were leaving our last apartment for our first house, and the week before we were set to leave, Piper was glaring at the corner of the kitchen in the ceiling. Her fur on her back was all standing up. Her tail was straight out. She was baring her teeth and growling, and she's never done that before or since. But she just stared at this corner for a solid 10 to 15 seconds doing that. And then I kind of snapped my fingers and kind of was like, hey, how about you come over here? And then she just...
Dogs are so fucking stupid.
I was like, what the fuck? All right, asshole.
Everyone knows only cats can see the supernatural.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm not going to get started on this because...
Anyways, what was... Wait, was it a mirror you said? Or a window?
It was a ceiling. Thank you. I'm glad you were listening. That's really cool.
Yeah, I was listening.
Yes, okay. I can tell using those active listening skills.
I was looking at pictures of cats over here. My bad, dude. Oops. Turn back the lights off.
All right. Well,
and this is before the first house, right?
Yeah. So the last apartment.
Yeah, the 3-bedroom that's now $2,000.
Yes, that one. Oh, you saw that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Plattsburgh thinks it's Boston,
dude. It's expensive. I'm still not jealous what you pay.
Why though? There's nothing there.
Dude, that's the
you
greedy
have a Starbucks.
Welcome to greedy landlords. It doesn't matter where you are. They are everywhere.
We're not going to get political. No, I'm done, dude. I'm done. Stop. You're triggering me.
All right. Well, so we got 2 stories for you today. The first
Dogs
one...
are stupid, cats rule. Let's go. Let's get into it.
The first one is called The Hound of Goshen. This is a really sad one. I'm just letting you know. So,
hold on.
But we're going to end with the happy one.
Before you get started, I need to look up where Goshen is.
It's in South Carolina.
Oh, there's one in Massachusetts too, and Indiana.
They're everywhere. Goshen
and New York apparently.
Okay, well, this is the Hound of Goshen, South Carolina.
All right, you should have specified.
Well, that's not what the story is called. All right, get some Kleenex to cry, not something else. Between the May Benton community of Newberry County and the Goshen Hill community of Union sits a highway known as the Old State Road. This thoroughfare is roughly 5 miles long and serves as the most popular route between both communities. Additionally, it is also the host of one of South Carolina's oldest supernatural occurrences, the Hound of Goshen. According to people who have claimed to see him, the dog is a large white mastiff who stalks and even occasionally attacks travelers of the Old State Road. Allegedly, only those who are brave enough to make the trek on a foggy night will have a chance of seeing him. However, if you ask any of the locals, most will probably advise against you making that journey entirely. The reason being is that the story of this dog is essentially the opposite of the John Wick story. Instead of a man avenging his dog, the dog is avenging the man.
Oh my God! Does he wear a little suit? Has a Glock in his pocket.
He's got a tuxedo. He's got a 9. He's good. He's going after everybody who wronged him.
Oh my God, dude, that's so good.
Legend has it that one day back in the 1840s, a traveling tinware peddler, accompanied by his canine companion, came to the area in search of business. After spending a couple of days within the township, people around the area became slightly suspicious of the man. Purportedly, they believed him to be a bit odd. Unfortunately, at the same time that the public was growing weary of the salesman, a shocking murder was committed with no clear suspect. As a result of this, the community swiftly and collectively assigned blame to the mysterious stranger. Within days, the man was charged with murder and faced a trial. Sadly, the court proceedings were a sham, and he would ultimately be found guilty.
When it came court, eh?
Oh yeah, they were ready to string up this guy way before he ever walked in the courtroom. So when it came to sentencing, the judge was both quick and ruthless in his decision. The man's sentence would be death by hanging. As the peddler sat in his jail cell and awaited his final day on Earth, his loyal pup sat just outside the window, refusing to leave his side. Occasionally, the dog would utter out a whimper, but his owner would gently hush him and assure him that everything was all right. Spoiler, it was not all right. Uh, Sadly and inevitably, the day of his execution finally came. While accounts differ, the predominant opinion is that the hanging was not an easy one. According to many, and there were many people watching, the salesman's final moments were filled with horrendous pain and suffering, as the hanging itself was apparently quite botched. Heartbroken, the mastiff watched as his master writhed with agony until he drew his last choking breath. Soon after, the man was buried in an unmarked plot. Ever loyal, his four-legged companion lay at the foot of the grave and mourned the loss of his best friend with constant melancholic wails. Forlorn and afraid, the dog didn't know what else to do but to continuously howl sorrowfully for weeks on end. Horrifyingly, soon after this began to occur, the real murderer would go on to confess to the crime. Now, not only did the constant baying keep everyone in the town up at night, it also served as a constant reminder of their guilt and the horrible atrocity that they had all committed. So yeah, this guy was killed by the townspeople, and he was not the murderer. It was somebody else. And now this dog is howling, and everyone is basically like, shit, we caused that. That's our fault. So,
for as much as you don't want me to get political on this podcast, you're choosing some pretty fucking sensitive subjects about, like what do you call it? Mistrials or like false convictions.
I swear I wrote this a week ago. It's nothing to do with anything that's going on right now.
Just but you know how America be, like a cop plants oh, here's some crack I found.
Like I said, I promise none of this was aimed at that stuff, but
I know, but
it's crazy how some stuff goes full circle. This is back in the early 1800s, and we're still dealing with some of these issues today.
And probably will in the however long this what do you call it, democracy goes on for.
But you will not find any of those issues on the You Go First podcast. Remember that as my promise to you. Right, Fernando? You're treated very well on this podcast.
Am I?
I think so. You're paid fairly.
Says the guy that just bought a $500,000 car.
Oh my God. It's a Mazda. I own two Mazdas. There's no such thing as a $500,000 Mazda.
Sorry. $1 million car. My bad.
Oh, okay. You got me. One morning, with their conscience unable to take any more, a man went up to the dog and dispatched it with a single gunshot.
Ooh, why?
Because they were sick of hearing the barking and all the barking, because it reminded them of what they did wrong. And this guy just couldn't take it anymore, I guess. All that was left now was an eerie silence and whatever thoughts were going through the man's head. They say it was to put the dog out of its misery. However, most people agree it was done to stop reminding the individual that they were partially responsible for the death of an innocent man. With the constant barking now having ceased, the town attempted to carry on and put this dark event behind them. For 3 months, things would continue as normal. That was, however, until the howls began. The next night, the town would learn exactly where these wails were coming from. The night was foggy, and the executioner who had killed the man was riding his horse down the old state road. Soon after setting off, he witnessed a large white mastiff materialize along the side of the path just in front of him. In its eyes, he saw only rage.
You can see rage?
I can see rage. Got a rage detector.
Yeah, do you?
I see it a lot in your eyes. Fearing for his life.
That's fair.
Is it fair? I think so. You're an angry man, I believe.
I'm what you call a tsundere in anime. I may be mean, but beneath this cold, hateful exterior is a softie that loves. Except you.
Okay, I was gonna say there had to be something in there. Dickhead. Anyway.
I'm gonna edit this one. I'm gonna edit this.
You can if you want.
I left. No, I'm not doing that shit.
Okay.
But I did leave in the last podcast where you're like, I fucking hate you. Like when you told me that.
I like to leave as much in there as I can, as much as YouTube's gonna let us get away with. So he is now seeing this dog materialize. He is looking in its eyes, There is rage. The guy's probably scared.
Where's Scooby-Doo when you need him, dude?
Exactly. Where is Scooby-Doo? Is Scooby Snacks and Shaggy and their big bag of pot? Because that's probably what they're... I bet you that's what Scooby Snacks actually are.
And then Velma and Fred fucking in the master bedroom, dude.
You mean Daphne?
Oh, who'd I say?
Velma.
I'm sure she joined sometimes.
Probably. I've seen it. Never mind. Anyway.
What?
There's a thing I keep seeing on Facebook pop up where this person edits like Scooby-Doo cartoons and to say like things that obviously they did not say, but they're pretty crazy. Anyways, fearing for his life, the man began to spur his horse so violently and repetitively that his boots dripped with blood. No matter how fast a horse ran, however, the dog was right behind them in tow. Just as the dog was about to lunge, the pair rode by a house that had just turned on a porch light. I will admit, this is the 1840s. Was electricity really widely used? And
we're fact checking right now.
I mean, granted, they could have lit the porch light. You know, they could have lit some lanterns. Maybe that's what it was. I'm sure that's what it was. But while we're asking the question, might as well.
Electricity was first introduced in people's home near the end of the Victorian period in the late 19th century. That'd be the late 1800s.
Yeah, okay. So this guy, just as the dog was about to lunge, the pair rode by a house that had just lit their lanterns. There you go. That's better. The glow pierced through the fog, and with it, the dog also faded away. This, however, would not be the last time that the Hound of Goshen would strike. Days later, another member of the community called Dr. James Cofield was riding down the old state road one night after visiting a patient. Like before, the highway was foggy and it was extremely difficult to see. Despite this, however, all was quiet and calm until it wasn't. Without warning, a loud and ominous howl emanated from behind the rider and his steed. Then, all of a sudden, a large white dog jumped onto the back of the horse from out of seemingly nowhere. This spooked the doctor's mount, causing him to run faster and faster. During all the chaos, the doctor turned around to see that not only was the dog perched on the back of the saddle, but he was also sporting a disturbing and hideous grin. Once again, however, when they rode by a house with light, the canine dissipated into the darkness. I'm starting to wonder if this house that they keep riding by is like, I don't know if they're like in on it or if it's like got some magical power associated with it, but this house keeps saving these people. I don't know.
I mean, it is like a fairy tale, isn't it?
This is supposedly true.
From where? Where did you get your source? How did you even hear this one?
I've heard about it for a little while, and I decided to research it a little more. And this is pulled from... I had to pull from like 5 or 6 sources to get a full story here. So this is this one actually took a little bit. This one took more work than I thought it was going to. So once again, however, when they rode by a house with the light, the canine dissipated into the darkness. Ultimately, this event
have you explained yet why it keeps disappearing at the house?
We don't know, and I don't think we ever really do figure out. It just doesn't like light, so it's almost like the dog. I think so. Earlier, I mentioned like on foggy nights. This happens, and every single time this has happened.
Sounds like a Scooby-Doo episode.
It's foggy, so maybe the dog is at one with the fog, and when the light dissipates the fog or cuts through the fog, it dissipates the dog. I don't know. That's my my very uneducated guess. So that horrendous grin that dog was sporting, because of it, ultimately, this event would result in the dog being given the moniker Happy Dog. Which is interesting because it was not happy. It was just smiling with a really disgusting smile, I guess. For years, Happy Dog would stalk and attack travelers along the old state highway, and not even something as cataclysmic as the Civil War would deter him. In fact, throughout the 20th century, attacks would become even more brazen. One person would even be injured. According to the individual, he was walking down the road one, you guessed it, foggy night. Halfway home, the man claimed to have encountered the grimacing hound, who then proceeded to attack him. During the altercation, the dog managed to bite the man's neck, causing him to bleed quite a bit. Amazingly, he managed to get to his feet and begin running away from the vengeful pooch as fast as he could. Eventually, he did make it to a house and began pounding frantically at the door. I wonder if it was the same house.
Could have been.
I'm telling you, man, if it's the same house, there's something about this house. I think we talked to the owners of this house. I mean, they're probably dead by now, but there's something going on at that house. Or maybe they keep hearing all this stuff going on and they're like, man, what the hell's going on up there? And they turn on the light and they're like, what's all these crazy people?
They're trying to drive up tourism for, what is it? Goshen, South Carolina.
Maybe. I mean, nothing else really seemed to pop up when I was looking at this area. It's a very small community. It's your typical, like, this isn't a bad thing. It's just your typical really small southern town kind of tucked away. So there probably isn't much going on there. Yeah. So eventually he made it to a house and began pounding frantically at the door. When the homeowner opened the door, he was greeted by a young boy with teeth marks on his neck and blood all over his clothes and the sound of eerie howls in the distance. Interestingly, the Mastiff hasn't been deterred by the advent of the automobile. In fact, the last documented sighting was when a woman was driving down the road in her Toyota Tacoma, #Toyotathon. Allegedly, she was heading home when the infamous mongrel jumped on the hood of her truck. Like all the previous reports, the canine donned...
that's like Cujo.
Yeah, actually, this is likened to Cujo quite a bit.
Is there any inspiration?
When was Cujo written?
Probably the 80s or 90s by Stephen King.
So yeah, maybe I remember them being like compared. I don't know if that doesn't necessarily mean that one was inspiration for the other, but yeah, I mean, I could see a story being inspiration for that slightly. I mean, it definitely tracks.
Yeah.
So anyways, so we're kind of now, this is early 21st century. So probably 2000s, maybe the late 90s, maybe. So he's still kicking around. He's still he's after humanity for wronging him and taking away his guy.
How does a canine have a sinister grin?
I don't know. Apparently it had like a...
like they can't smile, right?
I know they can't smile, yes. Apparently these people don't. Apparently it's like it's not a normal smile. It's not like a dog baring its teeth. There's something like demonic about this dog, apparently. Almost like it has like sharp human-like teeth almost.
Interesting. Well,
Okay.
humans have dog teeth. They got the canines, dude.
We do have canines, yes. They're not as sharp as dog canines, though.
No. Just imagine dogs with like human teeth. Piper smiling at you.
There's a creepypasta actually with a dog with human teeth. It's kind of creepy.
Of course there is.
So anyways, this dog has jumped on top of a Toyota Tacoma.
With a sinister grin.
Yeah, and he's just reminding her that it's Toyotathon.
Exactly. But he celebrates Honda Days.
Allegedly, she was headed home when the infamous mongrel jumped onto the hood of her truck. Like all the previous reports, the canine donned a sinister grin. However, this time around, it had also had piercing and glowing red eyes. And no joke, and I quote, they were spinning around like red pinwheels.
Is this Naruto, dude?
I have no idea, man. But that is what I read.
Sharingan?
So the shock of the event resulted in her not being able to maintain control of her vehicle, which ended with her crashing into a ditch. Thankfully, though, she was unharmed. I have a theory. This woman was drunk as fuck, and she's like...
She killed the dog.
Shit, what road am I on? Oh my god, I'm on the old highway.
I hit a dog. Oh my god.
Well, not that she hit a dog, but she's like, oh, it's that story. Like, I'm on Old State Road. I can just be like, it's that story. It's the ghost. Because this is the last official report that was mentioned about this dog.
And this is like early, like 2000 or something.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe she was just drunk. And she's like, ghost did it. Ghosts. Ignore the liquor, the half empty fucking handle of liquor I have in the back seat. All right. Let's wrap up this little happy story.
Yeah. Let's put a condom on this bad boy, dude.
Despite being considered one of the more popular alleged supernatural beings in South Carolina, the Hound of Goshen is regarded by most as nothing more than that of a legend. With that said, many people in the area do believe that the sad story of the peddler was actually true. Some locals even believe that there is a ghost of an angry white mastiff that patrols the old state road. Could it be possible that the Hound of Goshen is actively hunting down the descendants of those who killed his master all those years ago? If that is the case, maybe, just maybe, the reason that people don't want to believe in the story is because they're afraid the Hound will come for them.
I mean, I guess.
Hey.
Oh man, dude, I have a hard time with ghost pets.
Ghost stories.
Yeah.
I like the story, but I don't believe in it. I would be willing to bet, though, there was a botched kangaroo court hearing that someone got killed, and I actually could totally believe
you see
in
those to this day too, dude.
I could totally believe in that. They killed this guy, and his dog just kept howling, and they're like, "We need to shut that thing up," and they shot it. I could totally see that, to be honest, and I could even see them realizing afterwards, "Damn, we accidentally got the wrong guy." Back then, there weren't repercussions for that. So
you could argue there might not be any today too.
Yeah, well, depending. Yeah. Because you've been
on your,
you've been in prison for 20 years, and we got it wrong. Okay, well, here's $1 million. Sorry that we took 20 years of your life away.
Now, don't ask us for nothing.
Pretty much.
Anyways,
so yeah,
the system is great. The system is undefeated.
So that's the story of the Hound of Goshen. I don't think it's very believable, but I will say it's a bit of a sad story. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about it. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that episode. Just wanted to let you know that was part 1 of our Supernatural Pets special. We'll be back here again in a week's time to discuss the story of Unsinkable Sam. He was a cat that apparently would not die no matter how many times he was thrown in the ocean. So I hope you look forward to that, and I hope you had a good time. So with that, we'll see you next week, and remember to stay spooky, everyone. Have a great night.